So again, welcome to Java programming language. This is CS102 class given at Rutgers University, Newark campus. In this lectures, we're going to focus on Java character type and also the string class. And we are going to see 3 or 4 programs using the concepts that we are going to give here. So our main objective, again, is to represent characters using the char type. We're also going to represent string using the string object. We're also going to use some couple of string methods. Again, string is a class in Java language, which consists of a built-in methods, such as the length method will give us the number of characters in a string. We also have a charAt method, which will make it possible for us to go through the characters in a string or to locate a specific characters in a string, the positions. We also have a method such as to uppercase, which is to convert again all the characters in a string to uppercases. Also, we have to lowercase, etc. So a string is almost the same as the math class we went through in our previous lectures. We know a math is a class which is it has a built-in methods we can use for mathematical computations, such as finding the square root of a value or finding the sine, cosine, etc. Same thing applies with the string. It has also a built-in methods where, for example, we can manipulate any string. For example, I can change the characters from uppercase to lowercase or lowercase to uppercase. I can join 2 or more strings. I can compare 2 strings together, etc. So we are going to start with the character data type first. Here we say in addition to processing a numeric values, which we saw in our previous lectures, for example, we have the data type for decimal numbers and also for a whole number. In Java, the decimal number represents float or double. Then the whole number can represent either int, long, byte, or short. It depends on the size of the values. So here we're also going to process characters in Java. And Java have a special data type called char. So here we say the character data type char is used to represent a single character. Then the data type string is represent either empty string, single, or any amount of words, any amount of characters. So here we say character literally is enclosed in a single quotation marks. So that's the difference between a string will be double quotation and a character will be single quotation. So for example, here we declare variable name letter. The data type is char. We assign a single character to it, but the character is in single quotation. Now, if we put it in a double quotation, it becomes a string. So a character can be a symbol, it can be a letters, or it can be digits. So for example, here we have a variable name numchar. Again, the data type is char, character. But we assign 4 to it, but this time the 4 is in single quotes. So this means our 4 here represent a character, not a value. If it's a value, it will not be on a single quotation. So here, if we have a 4 without a single quotation, and we declare the data type as a char, we are going to get an error. So character data type, again, example, we have a variable name letter. The data type is char. We assign uppercase A, single quote. Normally, again, as we all know in computer system, we use the ASCII numeric system or standard system. And same thing applies to the second variable numchar. We assign 4 in single quote. So here we also have the Unicode numeric standard system. So here we can say the char letter is also 00 formal. Again, we are not going to use this too much because this is done by the operating system, the computer system. And again, we will see examples soon. So the note here is that the increment and also decrement operators can also be used on char variable to get the next or preceding Unicode character. Again, we are using the standard. For example, what we mean by asking a Unicode is that, for example, A represents A to S, but to a computer system or the ASCII or Unicode, most likely A may represent a value. Let's say A is 65, B is again 66, etc. Normally in ASCII code, the lower cases are less values than the upper cases. So uppercase A and lowercase a, they are not the same in Java because this is case sensitive. So here, for example, we have a character A as a char in a single quote we assign to CH. Now here we are going to say System.out.print Enter. This time we use increment the CH content, which means it's going to move from A to B. So again, it's the same as if I have a value of 1 and I increment it by using the increment operator by 1, then it to move from 1 to 2. I increment by 2 to move from 1 to 3. Same thing applies to, again, a character type in Java. So here we know CH content is A. But when we say we increment the content of CH A by 1, it moves to B. So that's the Unicode format. So again, Java characters again use a Unicode, which is a 16-bit encoding scheme established by the Unicode Consortium to support the interchange, processing, and also display of written text in the world's diverse languages. So Unicode, again, takes 2 bytes, which is 16-bit. Again, 1 byte represents 8-bit. Preceded by, again, \u, which is the escape sequence. This will be expressed in 4 hexadecimal numbers that will run from, we have the escape u, then 4 zeros, again, this represents 16-bit, to FFF. We know that, again, in hexadecimal, it's from 0 to 15. 15 represents FFF. F. So again, that's the whole concept here. Again, as we said earlier, we don't have to know this in detail because operating system take care of all this. But when I declare variable as a char, I'm going to assign any symbol, character, digit, as far as it's in a single quotation, it's again a character. Now the conversion, change it to hexadecimal, etc., is done by the operating system. So this is example, and this is a correct example in the ASCII code commonly used characters. Now from 0 to 9, which is digit from 0 to 9, the code value in decimal is 48 to 57. Also from uppercase A to Z is from 65 to 90. Then lowercase A to Z is 97 to 122. And this is their Unicode value representation. And the next is the escape sequences for special characters. So we have \b represent the backspace. In Unicode, the value will be 8 or 0008, which is decimal value 8. Now the tab, which is the same as our keyboard tab, is \t. And also we have the Unicode representation, the decimal value. We also have \n, which we already used it many times to move to a new line. So it's called a line field. And \f is for form field, and \r for carriage return. Now, anytime we want to print a \, since a backslash is an escape sequence symbol, if I want to print a \, I will use 2 double backslash. Again, we're going to see examples soon. The same thing, if I want to print a double quotation, I will use \/ with a double quotation. And again, we're going to see examples soon. So for example, here we declare variable name I, the data type is int, and we assign a to it. This is same as saying that int I equal to int a. Why? Because we are converting the character a to integer before we assign it to I, or casting. Same thing apply here. We have char c equal to 97. This is the same as saying, okay, I have 97 actual value, but I'm going to cast it or convert it to character, which is char 97 before we assign it to C. We have more example here. For example, we use the if ch is greater than or equal to A and ch is less than or equal to C. This means we have an interval between uppercase A to uppercase C. Then we are going to print ch, then it's an uppercase letters. As if it's between lowercase a to lowercase z, then we just want to print output is lowercase. Or if it's between 0 to 9, then it's a numeric character. So here we say also if, again, here we can see that the A and B, they are in single quotation. So we have two characters. If character A is less than B, it's true, because what? The Unicode for A, lowercase a is 97, is less than the Unicode for B, which is 98. As we said earlier, again, the ASCII and Unicode use values to represent symbols, characters, etc. So the same thing that here we have uppercase A is greater than lowercase a, or we say lowercase a is less than uppercase a. This is false because why? When we look at the Unicode for A, lowercase a is 97, which is again greater than the Unicode for uppercase A, which is 65. Now we know 1 is less than A. This is true because again, Unicode for 1 is 49 and Unicode for 8 is 56. Again, as we said earlier, we don't have to know all this, the Unicode value standard. We don't need, because this is again in our operating system, and also the compiler does everything for us. So these are some of the methods that we can use on characters. They are almost similar to string characters, which will be our next topic. I mean, string class. So for example, here we have a method named isDigit. It takes one argument, which will be the content of the character variable. So this will return true if only the specified, again, character is a digit. So as we said earlier, a character can be a digit, can be a symbol, it can be a character letters. So here also we have a method isLetter. This will check if our character content is a letter. So it will return true if it's a letter. The first isDigit will return true if the character or character variable content is a digit. We also have isLetterOfDigit. So isLetterOfDigit method takes one argument of the content of the variable character. This also will return true if the specified character is either a digit or, again, a letter. We also have its lowercase. This will return true if the character is a lowercase, or its uppercase will return true if the character content. Again, our ch here is the variable that carries the content of the character. So this is a character variable, character data type variable. So to lowercase also the same thing, return true if the character in ch is lowercase. This is to lowercase. Here means we are going to convert the character in ch to lowercase. If it's lowercase, then it will stay lowercase. If it's uppercase, we convert it to lowercase. It's lowercase, we check if the character is in lowercase. To lowercase, we'll convert it. Same thing applies to uppercase. This will return the uppercase of a specified character in CH. But its uppercase will check if the content is uppercase or lowercase. If it's uppercase, return true. If it's a lowercase, it will return false. So these are some of the methods that we can use in a character class. Next, we move to the string. So the string type, as we said earlier, is more or less a class. It's a class. So here we say a char type only represents one character. To represent a string of characters, we use the data type called the string. So for example, you can see we have a variable name message. The data type is string, and it has as much characters as we want. This is a sentences, but everything is in double quotation, so it's a string. The string can be empty as far as we have the double quotation with nothing, or it can even be one character as far as it's in the double quotation, it's a string. Or it can be as many characters as we want, even with space also. But the char data type only carries one single character at a time. So if I declare variable char and I assign, let's say, MW or TO, I will get an error because we have two characters. The size of a char is a byte. So a byte means it can carry only one symbol. Two symbols are too much. So string is actually a predefined class. As we said earlier, again, a string is a built-in class in a Java library, just like a system class or the scanner class, or the same as the math class. The system class we use for our output System.out.print Enter. Also scanner class we use mostly for our input to get a data. And then math class for mathematical operations. So the string type is not a primitive type. For example, in the beginning of the lectures, we said the data type, int, float, they are all primitive data type. They don't have no built-in method, but again, string is a class or reference type, we would call it. So any Java class can be used as a reference type for a variable. And the string also, again, is a class. Now, a simple method for string objects, as we said earlier, beginning, it has a length method. A length method will return the number of characters in the string. And we should be very careful here. For example, a space to compare is a character. So if I have two space, let's say sentences with 3 words and 2 space, those 2 space are also counted as 2 characters. Also the charAt, you consider the charAt, the argument is index. The index will be the location of each character. So it will return the character at a specified index from this string, which is the location. So if I have welcome, the index of W, which is the first character, is 0. The index always starts from 0 to 1 minus the size. So if welcome is 7 words, then the index will be from 0 to 6. Also, we have the concat. Concat goal is to, again, return a new string that concatenate this string with string 1. So the concept of concatenate is to join. So we can use that. Normally, if we are going to use it, I'll say, okay, s2.concat s1, which means I'm joining the s2 string with s1 string. The same as applied to characters, we also have to uppercase. So to uppercase method here means I'm going to change all the string characters to upper. If they are already uppercase, it will remain uppercase. If not, they will be changed to uppercase. Now you can see in the difference between the character method and the string method is that with the string, it doesn't take the argument of the string name. It will be outside. So it will be, we use the period. So because it's an object, again, an object. So we remember object-oriented programming. I'll say the object dot the method I'm using. So before we use to uppercase method, I need to create an object first, which will be a string type. So if the object name is S1, then I'll say S1 dot to uppercase, which means the content of S1, I'm changing all the characters to uppercase. Same thing applies to lowercase. We're going to return a new string. All the letters should be in lowercase. Then a trim method returns a new string with white space characters trim on both sides. So the goal of using a trim method is to remove if there's any space, a white space at the beginning or the end, they are all going to be removed. So again, we're going to use all these methods, some of them in our lab work in class, and also we have a couple of examples in these lectures. So as we said, strings are objects in Java. And the methods in the preceding table can only be invoked from a specific string instance. So object-oriented programming, the first thing, we need to create an object of type class. Then if I want to invoke the method in that class, I have to again use the object. So for this reason, this method are called the instant method. And non-instance method is also called a static method, such as our main method. You can see our main method have the key word static, public static void main. So a static method means that method doesn't depend on any class or any object. For example, if I have an object and these objects were derived or were created from a class, that object can use any method that class have. Again, we're going to, actually this will be our next topic, which we're going to cover when we study object-oriented programming concept. So here also we have the static method can be invoked without using an object, as we said earlier. So all the methods defined in the math class are static methods, because when I'm using the math class, I will declare variable, let's say int, primitive, and I'll assign a value 5 to it. And I can use the method in the math class square root to find the square root of that content. So it's a static. I don't need to create an object. And here we say they are not tied to a specific object instance. The syntax to invoke an instant method is the reference variable period dot the method name arguments. Again, we may go this in from beginning till we get into what is called a constructor, then we go to inheritance concepts. So for now, we should know that again, a string is an object. So if I have as we saw the string method previously, there was no argument of the string type, like the character. Like for example, each digit, the argument ch. Ch is the variable content. But if I want to find the length of an, which is the number of characters in the string is an object. So I will use the object name dot the length. I will not put the length as argument, the string content or the variable as because it's an object. I don't even want, we don't need to call the string type as a variable. I would say the best name is an object. So that's what we have here. The reference variable, which is an object, dot the method name, and whatever argument you have. So here we have example, welcome to Java, System.out.print Enter. The length of welcome to Java, that's the content of the message, is, now you can see here we say the message.length. So this will give us the number of characters, including the 2 spaces also. So that's what we have here. Welcome, the index will start from 0. So we have all the welcome. You can see space is set number 7. So space is a character. to 10 also space in Java. So this means from 0 to 14, that would be 15 characters total. So if we call the length, okay, which is here, message.length, the answer will be 15. Now, if I call message.charAt14, it will give me the content. The location 14 is A, so to return. And here also message.charAt0, 0 is W. So here again, we say, welcome to Java, and we assign the message. We want to print, but this time we say message.charAt0. So this will print W for us because 0 is W. Now, if you say message.length, then it will give us 15. Also, we can convert the strings as we said earlier. For example, if we say welcome, we want to convert welcome to lower cases, then the answer will be everything is already lowercase except the W. So W also will be converting from uppercase to lowercase, so everything will be lowercase. Now, if we want to convert welcome to uppercase using the uppercase to uppercase method, then all the characters will be uppercase. Again, we're going to see an example during the lab work. So the same thing applies to trim. Here, for example, we leave some 2 spaces. You can see there's a space before welcome, another space. So if we call trim method, it will return welcome. It will remove the spaces. So we say trim, remove the spaces from both sides, or trim the spaces out. We also have the string concatenation, which is to join 2 or more strings. So for example, s1.concate s2 means I'm joining the content. The string in s1, I'm joining it to s2. It's the same as writing s1 plus s2. Remember we said the plus operator, if we have a string at left or at left and right or at only right, if one of these 2 content are a string, then it will act as joining, concatenate. Now, if both sides are values, then it will add it. So here, for example, we want to have welcome to Java. We are joining the strings. We can also use the concate. So string chapter is concatenated with number 2. So here, as we said earlier, 2 is a value, but since left is a string, it will join it. It will only act as addition if both left and right side are addition. I mean, they are numbers, values. So if I have 4 plus 2, the answer will be 6. If I put 4 in double quotation plus 6, the answer will be 42, because it's going to join the 4 in 2. So another example, supplement plus B. Here we say S1 becomes what? Supplement B. We join the 2. We also have an example here. For example, we create a scanner object. Input, we ask the user to enter 3 words separated by space. So we have S1, S2, S3. Now, when you are entering a string, the next method, remember we use the next int, next double, next float. If the data type is int double float. If the data type is string, you can use next. Or if it's possible, you want to enter space everything, we can also use next line. Next line is good for long strings, strings with space. So you can see what we are doing here. Since we entered 3 strings, yeah, we can join them. So we join S1 is, S2, S3. This is just to print them. But again, the pros here represents more or less joining, because here what we print out will be S1 is the content of S1. Let's say I enter Williams. So it will be S1 is Williams. So the plus is joining the content of S1 and the string S1 is. Same thing applies to S2 is joining the content of the string S2. Now reading a character from the console, we use the input.next line. So here, for example, we create our scanner object. Again, this scanner object, as we said earlier, can be any name. Here we have it as input. We ask the user to enter character. Declare data type string S, and we can say input.next line. Now, after the user enter the content, next we have s.charAt0. We assign it to ch. So what we are doing here is that we already enter a string. The string can be as many characters as you want, but we want to take the first character. charAt normally gives us the location of the characters in the string. So if we say charAt0, the first character in the string, and the string name is what? S. That's the content of S. So here we say s.charAt0. So the content of S, the first character, we are going to assign it to a new variable that we declare. The data type is char and the name is ch. Now, if I want to just find the position, then I'm going to use again either whatever 0, 1, as we said earlier, the position are called the index, and start from 0 to whatever the size of the string is -1. So if the size is 20, we go 0 to 19, etc. So now the next part will be the couple of strings that we can compare, comparing strings. So for example, I have two strings. I want to compare if they are the same. If two strings are equal, it means they have the same number of characters, and the characters in each position are the same. So if I have welcome and I have another welcome, two strings, they are welcome, welcome. If I compare, if they are equal, yeah, they're going to return true. So I can say S2 dot equals S1. If the content of S1 and S2 variables are the same, then it will return true. We can also compare. Now we know that Java is case sensitive. So we also have equals ignore case. So this means if I have two strings, welcome, welcome, but one is uppercase, one is lowercase. If I call the equals, it will be false because they are not the same, case sensitive. But if I call the equals ignore case, then the case doesn't matter, it's only the characters, then they are the same. We can also use the CompareTo. CompareTo will return 0 if the two strings are the same, or less than 0, which will indicate that the string that we are comparing is greater than, and if it's less than, to be again greater than. So we have other returning 0 means they are the same, greater than means the first string is greater than the second, and less than means the first string is less than the second string. Same thing also, we have CompareTo ignore cases. So in this case, we are not going to consider the cases, whether it's uppercase or lowercase. We also have a method start with. This means we want to know what the string starts with. So this will return true if this string starts with the specified prefix, the argument you have here. So maybe I may have start with C or CH. And if it's true, if it starts, the string starts with it, then it will return true. Otherwise, return false. Same thing applies to hence with. The suffix, I have to have it. If it's the same, then you return true or false. So in this case, if I have a variable, let's say string S1, I can say S1 dot ends with S. So if the string, the content of the string ends with S, then it will return true. Now let's say example with this. So here we have a program. First thing again, as usual, We have our scanner class to use to get our input. Also, we have our main class. So the main class name is order two cities. So we're going to have two cities. First of all, we tell the user to enter those cities. So first, we have our main method. We create our scanner object. Now we prompt the user to enter the first city. The user entered the first city in a variable string type named city1. Then we enter the second city, and that goes to the variable named city2. Now we want to compare which city comes or greater than the other, which means in alphabetical order, which one comes first. So here we say if city1 dot compared to city2 is less than 0, then we say that the cities in alphabetical orders are what? City1 comes first. Since it's less than 0, it means city2 is greater than city1. So in alphabetical order, city1 will come before city2. Now, if city1 dot compared to city2 is greater than 0, it means city2 will come first because city1 is greater than city2. So city2 will come first before city1. Here we see we didn't check if they are the same, because if they are the same, it doesn't matter which one comes first. So first we check city1 dot compared to city2 is less than 0. If it's true, then this will be our output. City1 comes first before city2. Else it's false then. So city2 will come before city1. So next is obtaining a substring. A substring means we are obtaining part of a string. So let's say we have a string welcome. I want to obtain only well, or I want to obtain only count from welcome. So a substring. Now we have a method named substring to return. We can say begin index, which means we're going to return the string substring that begins with a character at a specified begin index. And we extend it to the end of the string. So this doesn't matter. I can also begin from 5. So which means the first 4 characters will be ignored. Then we start from the 5th characters. Or we may specify that, okay, I want to start from 5, but I want to end at 7. I don't want to go to the end. So in this case, it's going to take 2 arguments, the beginning index and also the end index. So we say a substring with begin index and end index means it will return the string sub, which will start from begin index position and it will end at the end index position. So a very good example here, we have message.substring 0 and 11. Okay, 0 means we start from the beginning, but we have to end at 11. So 11 will give us 10. From 0 to 10 is 10. So we end it. Now here we have message.substring 11. Okay, so that means the beginning will start from 11. So from 11 to the end is 14. So message.substring 11 will return Java. We give us Java. Then from 0 to 11, we give us welcome to with a space also. As we said, space is also counted as 1 character. And also finding a character or a substring in a string, we have a lot of methods here. So all these methods are related to the index. So for example, we have the index. When we say index, we mean the position of the characters in a string. So index of CH, this will return the index of, again, the first occurrence of the character. So what we mean here, if I have, let's say, good, G-O-O-D, and the content is O, then it's going to return O in the 3rd position, which will be index 2. Actually, sorry, G-O, so 2nd position, which is index 1, not the 3rd position, which is index 2. So we may have the same character appear more than once, but it will return the first occurrence. So returns the index of the first occurrence of CH in the string. Now, if we don't have that character, then it will return -1 if that character is not in the string. We also have index of CH from index. Now, CH will be the content. So this will return the index of the first occurrence of CH, but after from index. So what it means that I have good again, but we said, okay, we are looking for O, but after index 4, it means we don't have no O because O appears only in index 1 and 2. It's not in 3, it's not in 4. So from index, we'll start to search from that position. So we say return the index of first occurrence of CH after from the index, the position that we specify. We also have index of, again, this will return the index of the first occurrence of the string S. If we don't have it, it will return -1. We also have index of S and from index, the same concept. So this will return again the index of the first occurrence of string S in this string after from index position. Otherwise, it will return -1 if it's not. Then the last index of, this also will return the index of a last occurrence of the content of CH character. So in this case, if I have G, O, it's going to return the last O, which is index 2, 0, 1, and 2, instead of index 1. Then the same thing, last index of, but we also have to specify, well, when we say CH means we start from the beginning. When we have CH and from index means we are going to start from the index position we specified in the argument here. Then we also have the last index of S, and also the same thing from index, the position start from. So finding a character or a substring in a string, here we have a first name and a last name. And this is the name Kim and Jones. So you user enter first name to be Kim, last name to be Jones. Now, if I use s.substring, now the substring said start from 0, but we're going to start with the K. Start from 0, which is 0. We are looking for the K. So this means 0K will give me Kim, s.substring. Now, if I have s.substring K plus 1, K plus 1, again, K plus 1 will give us the 3. So this will be Jones. Jones. So as we say here, we have s.substring 0 to K. And we have Kim, the first substring, again, space. This is K. And K plus 1 means we start from Jones. Space. Okay, so we know this method already, integer.parseInt. What this does is that we're going to convert between strings and numbers. So this integer will mean I have a data coming in as a string. We convert it to integer before we assign it. Same thing, we have a double.parse double. Remember, if we don't need to convert, we can just use nestInt. But this is to convert. We have some example. Again, we shall go through this example in the classroom. Another code here, we shall go through this code in the classroom. So, and that will be the conclusion of our lectures, again, on Java char data type, and also the string data type. So again, wish everybody the best, and thank you for